Hey guys, we are going to have kind of an interesting and different video today. It's 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. I would like to have a video already live by now, but life has been upside down, so that's not gonna happen. So I ran away from home, I got some food, and I figured I would sit in the car and chat and eat with you. What do I call that? An eat and chat? Basically what I just said? Who knows? You already know. This past week was an already overpacked week, and then on top of that, Scarlett got strep, followed by scarlet fever, and it's all been a bit much. But I'm trying to stay on top of being able to have my videos up, so Ryan gave me a break. He said he'd feed the kids and put them to bed. I got takeout, and I'm gonna hang out with you, because I have some stories to tell from this past week. One being, my glasses are broken. That's the end of that story. It's a good one, right? I'm still wearing them though. I've gone out in public like this. I wonder how many people have noticed. Here's the thing, I'm kind of new to glasses wearing. Can I get this fixed? I still have the arm. Is that a thing? Or no? I feel like people go get entirely new glasses when this happens, but the expensive part is this part, so why can't they just pop this part out into new frames? That's a thing, right? Is that a thing? Hopefully I can do that. Otherwise, I'm going to wear them like this, or I'll put tape on the side and I'll be that person. I'll use one of my kids' like Avengers band-aids or something. Okay, tonight we are eating a poke bowl. Look at her. Let's see if I can show you without the lid. It's salmon sashimi, misago, pickled ginger, seaweed salad, and cucumber kimchi. It's pretty. And in a weird pairing, as is my way, I'm drinking it with one of my, oh my glasses are going crooked. We might have to take the glasses off, guys. We'll take them off. You'll just be a bit blurry. I'm drinking it with my thing that I showed in my fitness hacks. This is my favorite super cheap Starbucks hack drink that I get. It's like $2.50 for this giant thing, and it's delicious and sugar-free. If you want to see how I make that, I will link this video up here. And by me, I mean Ryan will. Thank you, babe. So these don't really go together, but whatever. And then I was, why am I still holding this in the air? While I was at the store buying tweezers, because I have a slipper that I haven't been able to get to in a couple of days. No time, I'm telling you, life's been busy. I passed the almond roca and I fixated on it. I couldn't get my mind off of it, but I'm trying to stay on my goals. I've got goals for myself. I have an end date of August. I want to hit all of my goals every day until August. I went down the healthy foods aisle trying to find something that would suffice. Ooh! I almost spilled my espresso drink. So I got this thing. I've never had it before, but it gave me the almond roca vibes, and it had a lot less of all the bad stuff than all the other things I was looking at. So we're gonna give that a go with our sushi and our coffee, like a weirdo. I do have things I wanted to talk to you about while I eat. It wasn't all just gonna be nonsense. I actually have a story for you from my very, very busy week. One of the reasons why I've been so busy this week, aside from Scarlett being sick and the antibiotics and the doctor's appointments and all those kinds of things and her recovery, she is doing much better. One of the reasons I've been so busy is because it is Teacher Appreciation Week. And whoa, is it involved. I wish every profession had an appreciation week the way that we appreciate these teachers, and they do need appreciating. I've been a teacher. You definitely need the pick-me-up after so many of your own hours that you put in, but oh my goodness, it's like a part-time job for the parent during Teacher Appreciation Week. So it kicks off with door decor. Do you know what I'm talking about? Let's take a bite and then we'll jump into the story. Ooh, there it is. Do you guys like sushi? Oh my goodness. This is from a Hawaiian place near me, and it's delicious. Wow, that's a good one. Teacher Appreciation Week, every single day is themed, and the beginning of the week, over the weekend, the whole school gets decorated in celebration, and there's usually a theme. Our school chose Dr. Seuss. So Scarlett is in 2nd grade right now. I signed up to do the 2nd grade door. Somebody had already signed up for Luca's pre-K classroom. I will say, I signed up very, very last minute because the room parent still hadn't had any volunteers. So she sent out one more reach being like, please, can anyone do this? Room parents have a lot on their shoulders. I felt bad for her. I thought, I can decorate a door. I've done it for the pre-K room for just different themes that they have going along with their curriculum. Sure, I'll do that. So I had like 2 days notice before I was going to go to the school over the weekend and decorate a door. And the room parent said she was thinking of 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, since it's 2nd grade, 2 fish, that kind of a thing. And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'll run with that. And she was so over the top appreciative that it kind of struck me a little funny. She was like, oh my gosh, thank you. I will buy you dinner. Like, she was just really very thankful. And I thought, well, that's kind. It's It's just a door. I can do this. I felt like I was going in prepared because I thought of a good idea. Our teacher this year is retiring and she has been teaching for 42 years. I thought I'd steal a little from the party that I just threw for Sadie, Oh, the Places You'll Go, and then have hot air balloons with pictures of the kids in the baskets, and then on the baskets I would have all the kids write what they thought our teacher should do with her retirement. I thought that'd be cute. Probably some of the kids would come up with funny ideas. That'll work fine. So I went in and I thought I was well prepared. I mean, I had an idea. And I thought that's all I needed. I didn't think I needed to bring supplies because it's a school. School's where you find markers and paper and those giant rolls of that colorful butcher paper and stuff. What else could I possibly need? Hold on, bite. I think this is my favorite Pokeball I've ever had. It's magical. Now I have to worry about having seaweed in my teeth. Do I? I walked in the door and there are parents everywhere. Parents that have thrown their shoes off because they are in it. They are so involved in this project, it's gone hardcore. Barefoot parents on the ground, sprawled out, and surrounding them is glitter glue, like all these Dr. Seussian colorful rolls of tulle, pipe cleaners, and pom-poms, and lanterns, and lights, and spray paint, and I immediately felt my anxiety level skyrocket. I felt like, oh. All the other parents have been there and working for a while. I thought, I don't need 4 hours for this. I can nail this in an hour and a half, so I came a little bit later than everybody else. I would say mistake number one, but not coming in with all the supplies was already mistake number one, apparently. Not only does everybody have their own personal Michael's Crafts supply stores right in front of them, nobody was using any of the school's anything, but every single door, every single one, had full-size printed out Seussian graphics. I don't know if they sell those at Party City. They probably do. I didn't check. I didn't think I needed to invest money in this. Laying on the floor were all these displays of Dr. Seuss illustrations and artwork. There were Horton Here's a Who's that were the size of small Labradors. I was definitely out of my element. Cat hates mouth noises. So if I leave an exceptional amount of chewing in, I dedicate it to her. It's how we love, by actively annoying. It's what we do. I calmly stepped over all of the arts and craft supplies and the parents that were sprawled out putting their all into these doors, went to our classroom door and saw that the door directly next to us, as in here's our doorknob, here's the first grade doorknob, they are right next to each other, was decorated as Oh, the Places You'll Go. And not only that, it said, Oh, the places the teacher's name is going to take us next year, with the kids' faces in hot air balloons with the professional Dr. Seuss graphics. They even had the land strip at the bottom. I'll include a picture if I can. You're probably already looking at it. It was the exact same concept. So I began to have like first world panic for, you know, no real reason, as I calmly walked up to the teacher's faculty room, passing door after fabulously decorated door, went into the teacher's lounge where they have one like personal potty. I went in there and locked myself away for 30 minutes, but nobody seemed to come a knocking, so I don't think I monopolized the bathroom too much. But I sat trying to figure out an entirely new plan. Not only did I not have any amazing poofy supplies that I could hot glue onto this door, but I didn't even have a concept. I started scrolling madly through Pinterest. I'm looking at Dr. Seuss fonts, trying to figure out how I can recreate them on construction paper, hand doodling them myself. I looked up uncommon Dr. Seuss titles to try and see if I could grab something else that wasn't already used, and that way I wouldn't compare my janky one to the professional graphics ones. And then it hit me. There was a spreadsheet that was sent out before Teacher Appreciation Week that had like the teachers' lists of all their favorite things. And one of the favorite things listed was their favorite Dr. Seuss book. So I looked that up, and our teacher's favorite Dr. Seuss book is old school Dr. Seuss, a book I had never heard of before. It's called The 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins. I might even be saying that wrong because I'd never heard of this book before. Thank God for YouTube. I found a YouTube video where a guy reads the entire story. Old school Dr. Seuss is like paragraph upon paragraph on every single page. I watched the entire thing and found a tiny little grain of an idea in there. Very quickly, the story is about a Dr. Seussy little boy creature thing. You know what I mean. A furry boy child, and he has a hat, and the hat kind of looks like a Peter Pan hat, but more globbly gloobly, Dr. Seuss style. The entire book is basically in black and white except for this red hat on this boy. The boy goes to go see the king. As the king passes through town, he takes off his hat and he waits for the king, and as the king passes, he gets very angry as he looks at the boy and says, "Why didn't you remove your hat?" And the kid's like, "I did remove my hat." King points out, no, he still has one on his head. So he has one in his hand, one on his head. It goes on like this. He keeps trying to remove his hat. It will not remove until he has 500 hats. As it progresses the story along, each hat gets a little more ornate. The tiny feather becomes big, gigantic plumes that are like streaming down, and yada yada boom. He gets to the 500th hat, it finally comes off his head, and then the king purchases it from him and he gets to go home with gold or silver or something like that. That's the whole story. Kind of an odd concept. I spent a lot of time this past week thinking about why Dr. Seuss decided to make that into a story. It's really just a story about a boy, a lot of hats. The hat finally comes off. There's a brief moment where the kid might be decapitated because he won't take his hat off in front of the king, but then they find in the rule books that you can't decapitate someone with their hat on, so he escapes that. But there's really no other plot line involved there. Whatever, it was her favorite book, and all of it led to a very interesting note about Nini at the end of this, so we'll get to that. So I decide the theme of the book is hats. We will do hats off to 42 years of teaching. I go grab a bunch of red paper because the hats were red. No other real plan. Some white paper to make feathers. I thought maybe I'll have the kids decorate feathers. I hadn't really figured it out yet. And some of that Cat in the Hat classic blue to put as my background. This is such a silly thing to get so upset about, but I felt like it was a talent show when I walked on stage without a talent, you know? But luckily procrastination always works out for me, and me showing up a little late also worked out for me because other people are finishing up their doors and they have supplies left over. So I went very kindly and asked any of the other parents if they wanted to donate to my cause. And the first person I asked handed me a little kit with some Dr. Seuss graphics that said hats off to reading. So that was perfect. And it came with all of these Cat in the Hat style, like little coloring page hat things. So I was like, great, that's what the kids will color. So I went downstairs and I wrapped the whole door. The door is traditional door shaped and has like a giant window in the middle, a very large rectangular window. I covered the entire thing, and then I thought I'll cut out some sort of whimsical shape. I just went with an arch. Arches are whimsical. Sure, it passes. I will put the end hat, the 500th hat with all of the feathers and plumes on the window so that when the teacher is standing on the other side of it, it'll look like she's wearing the king's hat. And then I'll write hats off to 42 years. I'll get the kids to decorate all the Cat in the Hat style hat and write what they think the teacher should do in her retirement, add that to the door, and we'll call it done. I may have stayed later than everybody else, and I may have kept the poor PTA mom who was keeping the doors locked and unlocked for us to be able to be in there longer than she would have liked to stayed, but I pulled it off. I feel like my door looks just as put together, just as planned, and just as prepared for as all of the doors that actually are planned, put together, and prepared for. Big reveal. Spirit fingers around it. It worked out. And the things that the kids wrote on there were so perfect. Scarlett wrote, go to Florida and see a flamingo. It's a great suggestion for somebody who's considering retirement. Somebody else wrote, take a nap, learn to skydive, raise chickens, get a cat. There's really great suggestions on there. And so it all worked out in the end. And even more so, little bonus side story. I was telling Nini about this, and I was kind of thinking through, why would this be her favorite book? It's such a weird little storyline to it. And Nini said that she remembered it being her favorite book when she was a little girl, and she could remember her mom reading it to her when she was 3. And then because she's Nini, she had the book right there at hand, and it's in absolute mint condition. It's totally beautiful. She opened it up to see when the book was written, realized it's over 70 years old, and Nini has a first edition copy. So we looked it up on the internet and they're selling for like $5,000. That book will not be going with Scarlett to school for show and tell. And a high five to Nini for taking such good care of your things since you were 3 years old and knowing right where it was when you needed it. That's incredible. Lights are going off around me now, so I think it's time to go. This is incredible. Have any of you guys tried my Starbucks hack since I posted that? I've wondered if you have. I just love it. Okay, let's open this. Crafted in California. It says just say cho. Why? Was that the oh, I see. Break off a corner. Ready? Very melty. Yummy. Yep. These were good decisions all around. I'm pleased. Very buttery. Really good toffee. And I think 1 square is all I needed. All right. What do we think about the eat-and chats? I probably called it something else. You guys let me know in the comments. And if you aren't subscribed, I don't understand that. It is free. It doesn't spam you at all. All it does is let you know when there's a video live. So fix that. It seems so silly not to. It's not the kind of free where there's some sort of pyramid scheme or anything. It's just my face in your subscription box. Thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notifications. I'll see you next time. Bye. Am I doing it right? Yes, I do. But I sat locked in an elementary school bathroom by myself. Barefoot parents on the ground, sprawled out, and spray paint. People are spray painting indoors. And spray paint. I've got a kid who's recovering from strep at home and the doctor's bills that are going to go along with that. And I was supposed to spend $150 on a door. I did not know. I feel like I'm doggy paddling. I like how I'm suspicious about everybody else around me when I'm a girl with a camera eating sushi alone in an empty parking lot where I'm obviously parked in a way that I'm not going anywhere. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Everybody be cool. It's getting dicey out here. Get a Pokeball, it's good.